By the end of this video, I can promise you, you are going to learn something that will win you more games, whether it's because you're going to be scoring more touchdowns or getting more stops on defense. So if winning something you want to do, this video is for you. Let's get into it. So let's talk about a situation here that I have seen numerous times. I've dealt with this. I've struggled against it. And I feel like a lot of people have, okay? We're going up against a really good offense and specifically a really good receiver who just keeps on getting open. In this case, we're going to call him Isaiah Bond, and we'll pretend that we just can't defend him. Corner routes, post routes, drags, he's just always open. This is an easy tactic to actually defend him in a more of a unique way. A couple of things we have to do here. First of all, we need to be on somebody who is standing up. So a linebacker, a corner, or a safety. I prefer a linebacker for this, okay? So I'm going to use Bullock right here. Then, in a zone defense, that's what we want to be in, a zone defense. I'm going to press A or X on PlayStation. Then I'm going to go up on the right stick to get into man coverage. Now I'm just going to select B because that's going to be Isaiah Bond. And you're going to see here that Bullock is now manned up on Isaiah Bond. Now, if we just leave this B, well, it's whatever, right? Essentially, I'm just trying to user him. You could do that. It's just not the best thing ever. Instead, though, what we're going to do here is actually do something called user pressing. So this is going to disrupt the timing of the route a ton. Let's do right here. I'm going to get right on top of him, about right where that green check mark gets on me. And then when the ball is snapped, I'm going to press A or X on PlayStation and down the left stick. This is going to jam him, okay? And we'll see if we can get it. With two controllers, it can be a little tricky sometimes, but there's a great example. And then we are going to be on him. The reason this is so good, especially if you have a high press rating player doing this, is that it disrupts the timing of the route. Now, is this something that I would do every single play? I don't think so. Is this something that I think works really well against both the CPU and users online? Yes, and this is something that I've played against that is incredibly frustrating. See right there again, we get that kind of press, and then we're on his hip, and we totally disrupt the route. Let me show you an example of doing this to a tight end here, okay? Let's pretend that we have a tight end who we can't defend. Well, we're going to go right above him, boom, and I'm going to press that tight end. Really, really good. Notice how that tight end now on the streak, he can't get off the line of scrimmage, essentially. This is a massive thing you can use to take away the best receiver, the most dangerous receiver on any given play or formation, and just throw the offensive player for a huge loop. Even look right there, I was able to get it kind of late, and that's going to disrupt the timing of the entire play, especially in a case where, you know, this tight end's on a streak, right? He's trying to push deep zones back to open up the post. Well, I'm going to man myself up onto him, and then when the ball snaps, I'm going to press him a little bit right there, disrupt the timing. Now we're able to use everything else. Really good, and it's a tactic that almost nobody seems to use. If you got value from this video at all so far, or ever from our channel, as of recording this, we are at 98,728 subscribers. If everybody who's watching this right now hit the subscribe button, we would hit 100,000 today. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. This has been a massive goal of mine since the very beginning, and I'm incredibly close. So all I ask is that if we have given you any kind of value, consider doing us a favor in return and hitting the subscribe button. And let's see if we can hit 100,000. Seriously, it's a massive goal of mine, and it's insane that we're this close. So big thank you in advance. And with that being said, let's get back into the video. This is a route combo that almost nobody does, but I promise you, if you add it into your game, it's going to open up the underneath passing for you so much. Right here, you're going to see me do it again. Back-to-back times, we get this zig wide open. So what is this route combo? What do we need to do for this, okay? Well, it's pretty basic. We're going to have an inside slot wide receiver, somebody who's pretty close to the tackle, a few yards off. We're going to put him on a zig route, okay? We're going to press Y or triangle, select him, in this case, B, and then we're going to go left on the D-pad. That's going to be a zig. Then outside of him, we need a flat route. So in this case, we already have one, but if we didn't, I would just hot route this guy. This is a basic two-man route combo. Everything else on this play, I do not care what you do, as long as you don't have a route running into the zig. From here, what you're going to see very commonly is that the zig's gonna get open in the seam. Now, right now, we've caught it 3 times. We've gotten it 2 out of 3 times. Okay, not bad. If we keep on doing this, though, you'll see we're gonna get this open over and over again. And I don't mind that getting bagged one time because it does show that it's not unstoppable like a lot of people pretend like different plays are. You can stop everything in this game. There's just, like, it's just, some things are tougher to defend than others. Again, you see it right here. We're able to do this against both man and zone coverage, which is one of the big reasons why I like this so much, because it's gonna beat anything you see on the field pretty much. Like, it takes very specific coverages to stop this. Here we go again. Notice I'm throwing this one in the seam and I'm able to hit him. A little tighter throw, but still able to. Now, let's say you're on the road in Dynasty. Well, one of the cool things is that this route combo is actually built into certain plays. So if we go into something like gun cluster out of the Georgia offensive playbook, and we scroll down, and we go find the play called post dig. Let's do this, and let's take a look. We have a zig route, and we don't have a flat, but we have A on a wheel. He's essentially going to be that zig. Notice the same spacing, or he's going to be that flat. Same exact spacing, just like that. We don't even have to do anything. We're just going to snap the ball, and pretty easy. And what's nice here is that we have a nice route combo around it. Let me show you what you wouldn't want to do route combo-wise around it, by the way. Why do we not want to drag right here from X? Why don't we? Because watch. He's going to get really close to this zig, and they're essentially right on top of each other. And so it's really easy for one defender to defend both of them. So I like something like this because we're going to complement the field. Okay? Go here again. Notice we've called this now maybe 10 times, give or take. And I think we only got stopped once. That means it's a good play. It's something that you want to steal. You can do it from almost any formation, by the way. I've shown this from trips, and now I've shown this from a tight set. Get a ton of questions about pocket presence in this game, so I want to go over just a bunch of different things here. First and foremost, we just threw the ball away. How do you throw the ball away? Well, very simple. When you are dropping back, click the right stick in, and you'll throw the ball away. Ideally, you have a flat route on that side of the field that you throw it to, and you can't really choose which side you throw it to, so that way you don't get intentional grounding. The other way to avoid intentional grounding is to roll out and throw it away like that. Again, just click the right stick in, like you're clicking it, and you're good. Next thing, I get this question all the time. I just went down with my QB. That's really good for avoiding fumbles and for avoiding wear and tear. How do we do that? Hold left trigger or L2 on PlayStation, click the right stick in. You're gonna give yourself up. This could be really useful for, let's say, a situation where, let's see if we can get it right here. Let's see if we can get a cool situation. Let's say we're rolling out and we don't want to take a hit. Right there. Like, that's when I would use that. Keep the clock moving. Avoid wear and tear. Let's say we're scrambling up the middle. Oh, no. Right? There's a great example. That's left trigger. Click the right stick in. All right? Now, something to avoid is I see some people sit back in the pocket, and they'll, like, tap RT for a second. RT or R2 on PlayStation is going to be turbo, essentially. It's going to be what makes your player run faster. You don't want to do this because this can trigger sheds. Whenever you hit turbo, people are going to shed. So you want to be careful hitting it and only tap turbo if you're willing to commit to holding turbo and scramble like we did right there. Don't just tap it for a second and kind of move around. That's gonna, like, you don't want to do this, right? You don't want to do that. It's just gonna get your players to shed faster, and it's not very good for you, okay? Now, when it comes to actual pocket presence, how do you have good pocket in this game? A lot of people are gonna say the idea of you need to step up, which is true at times, and right there was a great example of us stepping up, but it's not always true. And what I mean by that is, let's give an example here where we have like an overload defense in the middle, okay? So let's just pretend, you know, we're in 5 wide and we're just setting the dogs at us, okay? Well, in this case, if I snap this ball, I don't want to step up, right? Like, stepping up is just going to give me directly no pressure. The idea with pocket presence is that we want to drift, it's keyword, drift, away from where the pressure is coming. So right here, I actually don't really want to step up. I want to go a little bit to the left right there. Why? Because the pressure is kind of happening to your right side. Now, this is something that you'll pick up with out of the corners of your eyes. You don't want to be staring at the offensive line. Why? Because if I'm staring at the offensive line, I'm not making reads. So this is a little bit of a feel thing. But as you get a better feel for it, you'll get a good idea. Right there, notice how I drift up and to the right? Because that's where I have that open space. What it should look like is here, as you're going, you're going to make reads as you are, navigating the pocket. And again, it becomes kind of a feel thing. A lot of times, I'll pay attention to right at the snap where the pressure is coming from. So, like, if I snap this ball, pressure right side, I'm going to drift immediately to the left just a little bit. Right? Because I can see immediately at the snap, pressure. Right? So you have that idea. What if we're going up against, something like this again? Right? Or maybe it's a loop blitz of some sort. Somewhere they're just blitzing up the middle. Well, I might drift back a little bit here. Right? Maybe right there was a little bit too much. But the idea stays the same of, if the pressure's coming up the middle, we might drift back and maybe one direction or the other. If the pressure's coming off the edge, we might drift to one side or the other. Right there, kind of, just sometimes we just lose. One of the best ways to practice pocket presence is actually go into a play that you would call, right? Whatever one of your favorite plays is, and go up against random defenses. And from here, really just try to make the key of navigating the pocket while making reads, right? And this play is whatever. But right there, I'm not even looking at the pocket. You just kind of get out of your peripherals, right? Boom. Boom. Right there, I step up. Why? Pressure off the edge. Right here, I might drift a little bit because that was weird pressure in the middle. At the snap, I can see where the pressure is coming from. As a play is going on, I'm just kind of trusting my instincts after that. Right, boom. And you'll get better. This does become more of a field out type thing. this play, this is not a good play. But hopefully you get the idea, and, you know, we've talked about a good amount of stuff right here. Boom. Beautiful. Get off. Ah, come on. Break the tackle. There you go. Pocket press, a little quick guide. This is a gameplay feature that I've noticed a lot of people who aren't great at the game don't really know how to use, but people who are, like, they score a lot of touchdowns off of it, okay? I want you to pay attention to our receiver right here who's on a zig route. This guy is going to get covered immediately, and the play is going to break down. But watch what happens. We're going to go hut, hut. Oh, play's breaking down. I'm having to roll out. Nothing's really there. We're going to playmaker him up, and notice how that goes from a totally backed play to a play that actually gets kind of open. Let me show you another example. This time, let's watch Williams, but he's going to be on a hitch route, and I need him to get into open space, so I'm going to actually get him to go to the left right here. What are we doing? This is called playmakering, okay? Now, playmakering can be tough and is very situational, but essentially, you ever see, like, broken plays in real life where, like, you see, like, the quarterback point or something, and, like, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes do this all the time? With the right stick, we can actually tell our closest receiver where to go, okay? Right there, you see RB again. He's our closest receiver. He's going to go in the direction we're trying to get him to go. This can be really good for things like curls, hitches, or just situations where you have like a broken play. Let's watch our tight end right here. He's our closest receiver. Oh gosh, he's bagged. Everything's bagged. I need him to get into open space, and we're eventually able to get him into open space. It was a tough throw right there, but you see the idea. This is all done with the right stick. When the ball is snapped and you want your receiver to go in a certain direction, right stick in whatever direction you want him to go to, and you see he goes. Now, it can be hard to get this a couple times in a play, but right there, we just got it twice to our tight end, and we end up throwing a pick. But you see the idea here. A cool way that this works a lot is when you're on the run, okay? And that was that kind of first example I showed you guys where we're on the run, everything's bagged. Oh, go up, upfield, upfield, upfield. I use that right stick while on the run, and I playmaker my guy up to get into open grass. You don't always have to go up, though, right? The key is that we're going to where the defense isn't. If they weren't to the right, I'd playmaker them to the right. If they weren't underneath, I'd playmaker them down, right? That's the key of this. Sometimes people get too cute with it, so I do want you to be careful, but the idea of getting your guy into open space, that's the key. And you could even do a route that's pretty deep down the field if that's your closest route. Let me show you this. Right, we just have a deep post. We're going to playmaker deep post up. Now we get him into open. That right there. He was the closest receiver. Low-known short yardage tip that I want you to know about is this is called the Jimmy Jump. This used to be very popular in Madden and still is, and it is 100% available in College Football 25. What you'll see here is notice I'm getting this kind of like super high jump animation, okay? This is by pushing the left stick directly up in the direction that I'm running and holding X or square on PlayStation. This is really good for goal line situations, okay? This only works in the goal line. You can do like a basic Jimmy jump in the open field. It looks like this, but notice how I'm not getting very high on that. Whereas this right here, even that, like I'm not getting very high. Whereas once you get behind a blocker, you can actually jump over them like that. And the coolest thing here is that there's almost no risk of fumbling. Why? Because I'm on ball carrier conservative right here. By the way, to get to that, click the right stick in, go down, and go to ball carrier, put on conservative. That means it's very unlikely you'll fumble. So this is really good for situations where you're in goal line, and, you know, maybe they're in goal line as well. They could be in, you know, let's say they're in this, right? Tough spot to be in. But wow, what a slow handoff that was. That is their QB left-handed? Wow, that dive is super, super slow. Jeez, don't call this run. This dive is terrible. But right there, you see it. What a slow dive animation. Wow. Boom. See it again. That time from about 3 yards out, they give us a touchdown. Super easy. This could be a difference between obviously scoring and not scoring in the red zone, so I want you guys taking advantage of it because there's literally nothing worse than getting down into the 2-yard line and not being able to score. Do note that if you do it too early or you kind of push the left stick in the wrong direction, you won't get that animation. So, you know, maybe practice this for a couple seconds, but you can see I'm getting this like, what, 85, 90% of the time. And even right there, I think they might have called it in. You can get hit here, but because we're on conservative, we're really not going to fumble. And, I mean, there's, like, really not much risk here, and I think there's only things to gain. You just don't want to do it too early. See if we can get one more big tutty. Let's go, boom. Huh. Are we? I'm calling that in. That wasn't the Jimmy jump, but we're going to call that in. One more. Boom. All right, we just got in free. Easy one though. Take advantage of this. So we don't really talk about abilities much on this channel, and honestly, like, I am not the absolute best ability guy, but I do get to talk to some of the best players in the world. So these are what they say they love ability-wise. I'm also gonna give you, obviously, my thoughts on it. One of the first ones being this ability called House Call. Essentially, you are going to be able to catch interceptions better. This is a big one because catching interceptions, you know what that is? A turnover. If you ever watch any kind of football ever, one of the biggest things that coaches say decides games is the turnover battle. This will help you catch more interceptions. You want this on defensive backs, ideally, people who are typically in coverage. All of these I'm not super massive on. Step up can be kind of cool. Some of these are fine. I'm not super crazy on anything so far. Extender, though. This one gets really good when you get into the gold tier. Extender is, if you've ever played against Jalen Milroe has Platinum Extender. He will break sacks over and over and over and over and over again, and it's incredibly frustrating to go up against him. This is a big one if you can get it on a fast QB, or really just a QB in general, but especially a fast QB who can break a sack, then roll out and make a throw on the run. This can be a very, very big one. Shifty is really cool, especially at the bronze level, just because it's a very, like, bronze is like the first level of these, right? It goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum. And at the bronze level, this has a big impact. I like this on running backs quite a bit because it lets them almost get like a little speed boost when you're running the ball, especially if you have decent stick work using the left stick. Shifty is a very, very, very good one. Let's keep on going through here. See some more of these bad boys. Recuperation, no. I am looking for one, though. Option King's cool. Workhorse is a big one. This, if you're a guy who runs the ball a lot, you want Workhorse on your running back. I would say if you do anything with your quarterback, Workhorse on your QB is really important because fact of the matter is, no matter what kind of offense you run, unless your quarterback is handing the ball off every single play, which just isn't super common and just not sustainable because if you get down late into a game or something, you want Workhorse on your QB to protect him from throw accuracy and just throwing stat rating decreases, okay? That Workhorse seriously is a big deal. And I've seen guys have this on a few different players just to make sure that you're able to keep your players in the game, right? Wear and tear is a big deal, and this will help protect against wear and tear. Cutter is really nice on receivers and tight ends against man coverage. I know a lot of guys who are big on that. And then we keep going through here. We haven't seen the one that I think everyone kind of knows about here. Robber's cool. It's going to make your players get to their areas faster. So if you have a safety in a deep blue and a deep middle third zone, he's going to get there faster. Ball hawk, really cool. It's going to react faster in zone coverage. So if you pair these two together, very tough. Takeoff is great against press man coverage. I like takeoff quite a bit as well on receivers. And then quick jump is really good for any kind of pass rusher, okay? Not so much if you have like a blitzing linebacker off the line of scrimmage, but a pass rusher who's on the line of scrimmage, like a yard away from an offensive lineman. Quick jump's going to get them to get off the ball faster, which is going to help them which will help them shed faster, and they could potentially come free faster. Pro tip for you, running play action will actually negate quick jump. I know we've went over a bunch of these abilities so far, but feel free to write some of these down in a notes app or something like that. This can be a big deal. Headstrong is really nice for Dynasty on the road. That's a very big one to help you stay away from the stadium pulse. Clutch kicker is just nice. It'll help you make clutch kicks a little bit easier. You won't have much of a team or much of a penalty for being iced and whatnot. So that's a quick little rundown of the best abilities in College Football 25. This right here is the easiest play to call in College Football 25 to do pretty much nothing at all and gain a lot of yards. Now, this is out of the Pittsburgh playbook. We're in the Y off trips nasty, and the play is called RPO Read Y Flat. Now, there's a lot of good RPOs in this game. There's a lot of good RPO reads in this game. This, in my opinion, is the best one. And not only is it in Pittsburgh, it's also in all the ones you see on the screen right here. So you have some options with this, okay? So how do we actually run this play? Now, the first part of this is that it is a read option. Notice we have a R icon here on the right side defensive end. That's the read key, meaning that if he crashes down, if he really kind of sprints inside, I'm going to pull the ball at the quarterback. We'll see if he just stood up. Notice how he kind of shuffled, right? When he shuffles, we do nothing, and we just hand the ball off. To hand the ball off, guess what you have to do? Touch literally nothing. Right here, he crashed in. So guess what? We're able to take off with the QB. To pull the ball, I'm holding A or X on PlayStation. That's telling my quarterback, pull, right? Let's do it again right here. I'm going to pull the ball again. And right there, a little bit of a weird animation actually happened at the end, which can happen. I do want to be very clear with you guys. That can happen. Right here, we pull the ball. and the read option right there gets blown up. So, and that's the next part of this, okay? Because this is a read option, but we have this. And so on that last play where, you know, our read option got blown up, guess what was wide open? The flat was. And actually, you could just not even worry about the read option on this and just throw the flat pretty consistently. Now, there are ways to defend this, but in general, this is really good. I don't want you to only throw the flat because it can become predictable, and this play is more than just that, especially if you have a fast QB. But keep in mind, what makes this play really, really good, you know, there's a billion different read options in this game. But a read option where you can do that is tough to find, okay? All we're doing for this, by the way, you don't have to pull the ball. Just hold Y or triangle, right? I'm not like pulling the ball, then throwing it. I'm just holding Y or triangle. So let's go here. I'm going to throw it. And you have someone fast right here. Massive play or touchdown, potentially. Right, let's do it again. This time, I'm going to pull the ball. Notice, though, I do want to point out, like, that blocking can be weird on that read key if he crashes down. It's just how the game is sometimes, especially with the alignment of this formation. But don't forget, like, you can just hand this ball off. And this is, like, they have to respect that. They can't just, you know what I mean? Like, they got to respect you doing that. Right here, I should have just thrown Y, but we end up keeping it. And notice, like, we're able to get good yards. Let's go again. This time, I'm going to throw it. And I'm going to hurdle. And we're going to get some pretty good yards. Add this to your playbook, especially if you have a custom, or consider running one of the playbooks we talked about for this. Now, I want to talk about the kickoff method that I use for this game, because I do think this is really important, and you can make your kickoffs be like a very important part of your defense, to be honest with you, where all we want to do is, let's go to the kickoff screen, and we're going to select kickoff left, okay? I don't know why I choose left over right. It's just, I just like it better. So we're going to go kickoff left, and then we'll even go against kick return left. I don't really care. Then we're going to push the left stick all the way to the left. And then from there, it depends a little bit on our kicker's kick power, but we don't want to get a full kick. We actually want this ball to be around right here, and I like to tempt them to return it, okay? So from there, we have that idea done. But there's one extra little piece of sauce that I like to do. Let's get it all the way to the left. Let's get this kick going. We want this to be a returnable kick. And I'm gonna hit B or circle and take one of my players and loop them all the way outside, and then take another player and loop them all the way inside. I'm gonna try creating a funnel. We'll see if we can actually pay attention to watch that this time, as I'm essentially trying to force them into the teeth of my kickoff team. So one player, we're gonna get him all the way out. Then I'm gonna select another player, get him inside. Only way they can really get a big play here is if they start making people miss. This has been very successful for me, okay? And the reason we want to get this in front of the end zone is because usually you could tackle them for less yardage. Notice right here, goes into a funnel. That time I brought somebody in, then took another guy out. That's how we're going to do this pretty consistently, and it's going to be good. Now, if you do have a kicker who can just boot it out the back of the end zone, that's obviously the safest way. But this method for me, I found I've gotten a lot of people to start before the 20, which long term, that's going to help you get more stops because people just have to travel more distance. Also, my kick settings. This is super preference-based, by the way. But where is my kick settings? Where are they? Are they? Okay, my kick settings are on tap and hold. Apparently, that doesn't show. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Kicking, control scheme, tap and hold. I totally missed that. There you go, though. Have you ever seen a situation where you're trying to pick up a blitz, but your halfback or one of your linemen just keep on dumbing out, right? You know, we have this very heavy blitz right here. We're sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, plus my users in the gap. That's basically 7. And I'm going to try blocking this with my halfback. All right, we snap the ball. Well, let's see. Can we snap the ball, please? Thank you. And right there, we're just getting a guy coming free. The halfback's actually doing a good job, but this style of blitzing is called an overload blitz. Why is it called that? Because we're just overloading the line of scrimmage. The offensive line gets very confused very fast. I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to block these overload style blitzes, which actually is, who cares about the halfback? Get him on a route, motion him out, who cares? We actually want to focus on our tight end here, and I want to block him. So we're going to press Y or triangle, select our tight end, and then press the right trigger. This is going to get him into a pass blocking assignment, okay? Then, this is the next step. We're going to hold left bumper. Press A or X. It's going to let me ID the mic and get this M icon. Notice how I can move the M icon to anybody. We're going to ID the mic on the outside linebacker opposite of the tight end. So we do that, all right? Now, from here, we are good. Notice when I snap this ball this time, we're going to pick up this blitz easily. And what's nice is that because our halfback isn't blocking, 1, he's a great man beater, but 2, we're going to stalemate the entire blitz at the line of scrimmage. This is a huge tip, genuine. Like, please write this down. because this will work against things like mid blitz, for example. Because what is mid blitz? Think about mid blitz for a second. The most popular blitz in the history of football gaming. What does that predicate on? It's an overload. It's not like a loop. No one's looping from the second level. This right here is an overload, especially when they do something like this, right? What are they trying to do? They're just trying to confuse the offensive line. So I'm going to block my tight end, ID the end opposite of my tight end, and right here, we're going to block this beautifully. Now, of course, we need to have a good route combo here. They can shed us because they're getting one-on-ones across the board. This is just a really easy way to block these style blitzes. So what do? Let's go one more time through it. Okay, boys? We're going to block our tight end. That's Y. Oops. That's Y or triangle. Select the tight end. Block him. Okay? Then we're going to hold left bumper. A or X. Now I don't have to press anything. All right. I'm just going to use left stick and move this M icon on the end opposite. Snap the ball. And we're going to be able to block. Now, we got shedded very fast right there. That's a shed. That's not the blitz coming in. Big difference. If you've ever felt like your opponent just keeps on throwing the ball underneath and you can't stop it, I have a really easy solution for you. Now, before I say it though, big thing, there is of course ways to beat this solution. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to tell you guys the solution and then you're going to say, well, so-and-so, you could beat this. Of course you can. Everything in the game and in football can be beat and stopped. That is football. But let's talk about how do we stop this underneath stuff, right? And it could be, something as simple as like someone throwing it to the halfback, or in this case, we're just throwing drags over and over and over again, right? We've all seen this, and that's really frustrating. Simple thing here. I want you, when you go to call your play, to call one of two plays. A cover 3 of any kind, or a cover 4 of any kind. I'm going to show you why I don't want cover 2. But a cover 3 of any kind, or a cover 4 of any kind. We do that, then let's go to our play that we kept on going underneath with. And on defense, we're going to press Y or triangle down the right stick. Simple as that. Boom. Boom. Just like that, we're done. This creates hard flats. Hard flats are going to be your best friend because they're going to quickly take away the halfback. Okay? Then, they're going to quickly take away drags. Bang. Easy. That's going to stop the underneath. Now, you might be saying, Civil, what about this snag route I just saw open in the middle of the field? Well, guess what? You, my friend, have a user. And your user should be here in the middle of the field. So when they do this, guess where you're going to go? You're going to go right there, and you're going to try to lurk that ball. Now, if it goes over your head like that, I'm sorry. But really easy solution. So why do we not want to go cover 2 here? Well, it's just because cover 2, if we were to shade underneath and get hard flats, the deep sidelines are really open. And let me kind of show you an example of that, where I'm just going to wait for this wheel, and I'm going to throw him kind of late, and we're able to hit him, right? Imagine a corner route 2, or even something like this right here, where we're going to hit this fade late instead, right? I forgot to go to cover 2, I think. Yeah, I did. I forgot to go to cover 2. Let's go to cover 2 right here. Bang. Tampa 2. Shade underneath. And watch what happens right here. They're going to defend the flat really well, but he's going to let this be open very easily. Whereas if I go cover 3 instead, let's call a cover 3, shade underneath looks like this, and I try to hit that halfback wheel late, well, look who's there. That guy. And if you get agged, you get agged, but that's going to be a really good thing. This is cover 3, shade my coverage underneath is like one of my base defenses every single year. If you want to know what coverage shell I like from it, I like using the cover 2 coverage shell, which is all on the right stick, all right here at the play call screen. Easy way, though, to stop underneath routes. Hopefully it's helpful. And if you made it this far and you got value from this video, consider doing me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It's totally free, and we are incredibly close to 100,000 subscribers. You'd be helping me out a ton. I'll see you guys all in the next one.